Hey, what's up, guys? Node Investor here, bringing you another update on these cryptocurrency markets. Your number one source for technical analysis on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and anything related to crypto. That sounds like a commercial, huh? I should make like a formal intro that says something funny like that. Welcome everyone to another edition of the Node Investor. Just a quick update on these markets, but before we get started, I want to remind everybody I will be doing a live stream later today where we'll take a look at a lot more charts. So feel free to put your notifications on and join me for that later today. At this time, I am primarily going to talk Bitcoin and one other name, but mostly just want to talk Bitcoin. Is this dip over? The pullback that we were all looking for, that I have been expecting. I was probably the first, if not one of the first people here on this space to start talking about this potential cup and handle pattern that was forming on this chart following the rising wedge, which did play out as expected. I've seen a few others starting to talk about it now, so they're also starting to notice it, which is good. But we're seeing this play out. Now we need some upside confirmation. But so far, it's looking like it's playing out as expected. So if you missed the last couple videos, the first thing we were talking about was this rising wedge pattern that was forming as we approached the resistance point here, which was also the neckline of a big picture inverted head and shoulders pattern. Now, I wasn't expecting the neckline to just be a big breakout. There was too many people watching that pattern. I think we needed a little bit of a pullback, especially going into that resistance point. And we finally saw that pattern break here a couple of days ago, and we've seen a pretty decent pullback since then. Now, the levels that I was looking for on this pullback, there was two areas I was watching, and in fact, I had a little bit of a buy zone that I was looking to start scaling in at, and we have been in and around that zone over the last day. The first level I was looking for as a preliminary support was around that 10,800 level and anything below that. And then the bigger level of support around 10,300. We're not going to want to see prices get below that, or this cup and handle pattern will not play out and it will begin to look more like a big double top. And so we want this pullback to start to end here. So far, we're seeing some support coming in around 10,400. Very good sign. And so my buy zone that I was looking at was in and around 10.6, so a little bit above, a little bit below, and so that's kind of the area that I was looking at, and not much below 10.5. It started to get too much deeper than that, then I was going to just sit tight, but I was pretty much scaling in and starting to buy into this area. Now that is an early buy, that is certainly buying before we see the full upside confirmation, but that's based on some targets and some other analysis that I have done using several different indicators and different projections to the downside. If we look at the RSI, we bottomed out on the RSI at 31 on this 4-hour chart, and it's starting to turn north now. MACD hasn't confirmed, but that is a lagging indicator. But if you go to the 1-hour charts, you can see the RSI has been turning positive even as prices continued lower. That's a bullish divergence, which is good. We're starting to see that the downside momentum is waning, and the MACD signal line is also turning north and above the MACD line. So that's another positive indicator showing that, hey, perhaps that was the low, that was the pullback, the dip that we were looking for. But ultimately, we want to see a close above this today, 11.8 or so, and ultimately getting back above 11,000, excuse me, today 10,800, and then ultimately getting back above that 11,000 mark. If you go to the daily picture, it still looks strong. It still looks very good following that rise that we had. We had the pullback, we had the second rise, and then this little dip over the last 3 days. And today could be a reversal day off of that low, so we want to see some upside confirmation. Getting back above that 10,800 mark, give or take, will get us back above that first key moving average, the 10 EMA, which I follow, and then getting back above 11 is a good psychological number, but also some resistance points on the shorter term time frames, which is why I believe it's important to get back above, and that will certainly start to shift the momentum. if we see that take place, the next thing I'm looking for is a breakout above that resistance point, that neckline that we've all been watching here. And that's going to basically be around that 11,800, give or take. But once we clear that, we could see a pretty quick move up to around 12.7 and then 13. So I still believe we will see 13,000 Bitcoin in March. And so that's been my number, and I've actually projected potentially higher before the end of the month, but I still think 13K is in the cards, and I'm watching out for that. So on the downside, again, just keep an eye out on this 10.2. We don't want to see 10.2, 10.3 taken out. If it does, I'm going to start getting a lot more cautious, especially if volume comes in on the sell side. But for now, it's not looking too bad. It's looking pretty good, especially on the 4 hours. For those of you that are the candlestick type of readers, the aficionados out there, there was a pattern I was looking at yesterday. I'll highlight it here. And these two 4-hour candles formed what they call a tweezer bottom. And this one almost ended bullish. It didn't finish it as strong as I would have liked. The following candle saw a big reversal. Then we saw this leg down, but this second set of candles here at the low, much stronger pattern. We actually slightly undercut on that second candle, finished very strong near the top of the range. And so far, this latest one is showing some follow through to the upside. So again, another positive sign that maybe that 10.4 was the low at the of this dip, and it's in line with the downside targets that I was looking at. So we'll have to keep an eye on this again over the next few hours. We want to see some upside follow through, or at least some sideways action, and we don't want to see that low taken out. That's going to be it. Oh, actually, one more. Monero. Monero's trying to break out here. We want to see some follow through. We put a nice ascending triangle pattern on this hourly charts, and you can see it on the 4-hour chart. It looks pretty good there. And we saw some big volume come in on this breakout attempt. It's reversing pretty good right now, and so that's usually not a good sign on a breakout attempt. You want the breakout to pull back mildly, and so I'll mention more about this during the live stream later today. It'll be interesting to see where Monero stands in the next few hours when we get there. But another one I was pointing out, because I know I've been talking about this over the last couple of weeks, and it's been very strong. Had a big volume breakout attempt today, but it's pulling in pretty hard, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. If you want more information, if you're new around here, go to nodeinvestor.com. There is a getting started tab if you're new to crypto. There is also a training tab if you want to learn more about technical analysis, how to read the charts, and so forth. I am working on a few more courses, and I'm excited to get those out to you guys. They're a little bit more advanced, and I'll share more information as that gets closer. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, take care.